Okay, you thought it was just going to end at a certain point. It never did. Girl was out the door.
This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm RJ Barrett on this digital sports center presented by Montana's Barbecue and Bar. And we're at the halfway point of the season for most teams in the NHL. So it's the perfect time to hand out some grades for the Canadian NHL teams. It's a long time since I've been in school, but I hear midterms make people nervous. But the one team that does not have to be nervous is the Leafs. Because they're currently at the top of the Atlantic standings, 6 points ahead of Florida, and tied with Washington for most points in the East with 56. Outside of that weird North division during COVID, the Leafs have not won a division title since the 99-2000 season, when they were in the Northeast. So this is an easy one. We're giving the Buds an A+ to start the year. To be atop the division at this point of the season, while also having dealt with injuries with their top player, is more than impressive. And even though they might not be scoring as much as we're used to seeing, their stars are dominating and their goaltending has been a strength. Let's move down the standings to 2 teams that are tied in points, but one is a lot hotter than the other. And going into the season, both had different expectations. In Ottawa, the Sens have lost a few in a row, but are in the thick of a wildcard battle. Ottawa has not made the playoffs since 2016-2017, and if they're going to snap that drought, it'll be tough if Linus Ullmark is not healthy. After losing 9 of his first 13 starts, Ullmark has not lost in regulation in his last 10 outings. His injury, though, leaves a major question mark in net, because every other goalie the Sens can turn to has a save percentage under .890 and a goals against above 3. So while their grade is kind of incomplete, we're going to give them a C+ for now. But if they make the playoffs, that's definitely turning into a B. Alright, last team that's definitely one of the hottest in the league right now. The Montreal Canadiens are 8-2 in their last 10, and this might seem crazy, but they've clawed their way back into a playoff race. Even if they don't make the postseason this year, being in the hunt the rest of the way is a massive improvement, and it helps that their youngsters are developing into stars right before our very eyes. Lane Hudson is now first in rookie scoring, and is averaging a point per game in his last 19. And the top line of Caulfield, Suzuki, and Slavkovsky has gone for 29 points in the last 10 games. So it's a B all the way for the Habs, and if they sneak into the playoffs, that's an A+ for the rest of the season. Don't worry, Western Canada, we're not leaving you out. We're gonna give out your grades tomorrow. Nothing better than Connor McDavid doing Connor McDavid things. Time now for the Big Play Replay, presented by Montana's Barbecue and Bar. And while I tease McDavid, this play actually starts on the other end with a huge save from Stuart Skinner.
But he had an option there. Thrown out in front, Saka, backhand, and that forehand opportunity denied by Skinner, shorthanded. Look out, you got to defend here. Up the middle is McDavid, walks in, shoots, he scores! Just like that, a power play goal, and the Oilers lead it 2-0.
That goal was nothing without the goalie, so big shout out to Stuart Skinner.
It's goal time. Oh yeah.
Goal! We're out for a big win today.
I'm old.
A little on the scary side because they're a lot older.
It's promo time. The first promo time of 2025, and look who it is, my Kujin, Luca Celebre. What's up, buddy?
Did I not do that at the right time?
No, it was good. I liked it. All right, we have to talk about the latest video on BarDown's YouTube page, because you took on a team of 10-year-olds? What? I feel like that's not fair.
Mostly 9-year-olds.
Oh, great.
These kids are confident. They think they're going to win this one. I heard some people saying 10-0, 14-0. They had you even losing by 15 at some point. What do you think?
You know what? I'm just taking that as pure motivation. You know, we got haters everywhere. We got people coming into this thinking we're going to lose. 10 seconds or less, we're getting a goal on the board. I promise you.
This is the very first BarDown challenge here. Nash, how are you feeling ahead of the game?
Really good. I think we're still good just the way them.
Now that you've seen them during warm-ups, have your feelings changed at all? Because the BarDown team, they're talking a lot of smack. Do you think you could still beat them?
Hell yeah. Like, the only thing that they're really good at is passing. Like, all the other stuff, they're dust. We're getting nipped BarDown on BarDown.
Were you surprised by how confident they were?
No, because kids are like the most confident, I think, people on the planet, like, because I just don't think they understood. Like, I think the 12-year-olds when we play them are gonna have a little more sense of like, okay, adults are pretty good at hockey. I think kids just probably look at their parents when they see them play and are like, these guys are dust. Like, we're the best players in the world.
But they must have felt the fear the second they realized you guys weren't letting up off the gas.
Well, I think they felt the fear. I know we made the goalie cry, which we all felt bad about after, but I also like heard them talking on the bench, and they're like, the only reason they're beating us is because they're big and things like that. So like they were still like convinced that if a couple things went their way, they would have beaten us. I
just want to shout out the production value of all this too, because you had Cheryl Pounder. Are you kidding me? How did you get Cheryl involved?
Yeah, not just any commentator.
Yeah.
NHL 25,
That's
TSN, like the best commentator. Cheryl was just gracious with her time. I can't believe she made the trip out there to do that for us, and it made the whole video so much better.
I have to say, this is my favorite video on YouTube right now, not just on the BarDown channel, just overall incredible job.
Wow, that's very kind. Thank you very much. And if you like it so much, we've got U12 coming up, and then if we beat the U12 team, U14, U16, U18. I think when it gets to 14, it's going to be really tough, but like we should just play every team regardless of if we win, but we're going to try and win every game.
It's a great way to test your skill level, no?
Yeah, it is. We're not very skilled, but against 10-year-olds, yeah.
To watch the video, you can go to BarDown's YouTube page, or if you're watching us on Insta, just click the link below. Now joined by our gambling guy, Wes Chang, but not just our gambling guy. I saw you hosting a couple of Sportscenters, friend.
Yes, we did. That was great. That was awesome. Thanks for shutting that up.
Of course, anytime. Happy for you.
Appreciate that.
We spoke about yesterday in the show. The Raps are 1-13 since December 5th. Their defense is atrocious. So how do we exploit this for some money?
Look, it depends on the team that they're playing. You know, how they play offense. It'll dictate where you go. But there's two things that are kind of consistent throughout this streak. Number one, the Raps they give up a lot of threes.
Okay.
That's what they do. Specifically, if you can find guys who get the majority of the shots from the corners, it's kind of where you get them. But the other thing, Raps just don't have good rim protection. Now, it's not a knock on Jakob. I think he's an average to above average level defender, but he's just not enough of a deterrent to take away guys who really know how to get their offense at the rim. And so those are the two things that really have jumped out during this stretch.
Okay. You know, I got to ask you, give us your best bet for tonight's game against the Knicks.
Okay, I'll give you one that there's three reasons why I like it. I like RJ Barrett to go over his scoring prop.
Okay.
So, first of all, I really like the fact that he has a good track record against his former team, New York. He scored 30. I think he scored 23 in the other game. So he's just showing that he brings it when he plays against his former team.
Sure.
And then there's some good sound recently of him calling out the Raps' effort after last night's loss. It was a really bad loss. And so he went on record saying that. I think, anytime you put yourself out there, you're going to have to back it up. He's going to try. But then the other thing is, New York, as much as they've improved their defense of late, they still allow a lot of shots at the rim. And if you know anything about RJ, all of his shots, all of his success comes when he's slashing and cutting. So this is a really good setup for him to have a big one.
We trust in Wesley Chang, and you can watch the Raps and Knicks tonight on TSN at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. But let's stick with some hoops because the Jimmy Butler trade saga continues. And earlier today on Get Up, Ryan Windhorst said moving the Heat star might not be easy.
I've spent all week on the phone on this, Greeny, and from my discussions, I don't think the Heat have any traction. I don't think there's any deal that they like. I don't think there's many teams that are offering them anything that they consider any actionable thing. I think the Heat are preparing for a future with Jimmy Butler back on the roster. We'll see if that can get worked out because obviously he's in the midst of a 7-game suspension.
What's your take on that? You think Jimmy gets moved?
I I still think he'll get moved. I'm sure something. I feel like something will happen, but the reality is, it sucks for everyone.
Yeah.
It's a lose-lose.
Yeah.
The organization didn't do a good job with this. Jimmy didn't do a good job of this. Look at his track record.
Yeah.
He's burnt down every bridge that has ever been crossed by him. So, and Miami's not really that great either. They have a bad track record as well. So this is just, it kind of feels like ego on ego. And unfortunately, it feels like everyone's going to be worse off.
What the heck? Ego's not good for business. Burning bridges, not good for business.
Yeah, but they're doing it. They're doing it, both of them.
Flame on!
Flames.
That's it for us. See you Replica tomorrow, 3 Eastern, New Pacific. Have a good one.